Have you ever considered the true impact of the euro on your daily life? Picture this. Tom, a man of humble beginnings from a large family, understands the reality of inflation more than most. As he meets his friend Suzanne in a cafe nestled in the quaint Berenwoodstraat, a side street off Wouterstraat, his mind is occupied with the economic changes that have swept through his homeland. Suzanne, a hard-working woman who chose to study photography after a string of temporary jobs, has recently graduated. She's now considering the idea of starting a family, but the financial implications weigh heavily on her mind. It's a common struggle, isn't it? Balancing personal dreams with economic realities. As Tom settles in at the cafe table, Suzanne suggests the mixed plate, a suggestion he readily takes on board. Not out of misplaced thriftiness, but from an understanding of the value of money that's been honed through the years. Growing up in a large family, Tom knows the reality of inflation all too well. The introduction of the euro hit him hard, as it did many Dutch citizens. The currency was thrust upon them, using an exchange rate set at €2.20, while the actual rate was closer to 2.45. It felt like a second blow, after the first Cox quarter had already been taken through increased petrol prices. And let's not even start on the aesthetics of the new currency, with its confusing similarity to the German mark. But the real sting in the tail? The soaring prices of goods and services post-euro. The hospitality industry was scapegoated as the culprit of these price hikes. But this tale was spun by the very government that often increased their own tariffs by more than 20%. The privatization of railways, healthcare, energy, and telecommunication services led to significant price inflations. The relationship between consumers and service providers became strained, with bureaucracy causing the everyday customer to be overlooked. Companies were more focused on covering costs for excessive advertising and sponsorship campaigns, and on profit-seeking. The promise was that this new free market would regulate itself, provided there was no cartel formation. But why would a company sponsor events when they already have a steady customer base, and the market for their services won't open for another 3 years? Just look at the football club Vitesse and Nuon. When Nuon started sponsoring, user prices shot up. Germany had already demonstrated the potential consequences of privatization for the private sector, with cartel formation and price increases being the aftermath. But in the Netherlands, experts assured us this wouldn't happen. In conclusion, the introduction of the euro and the shift towards a free market economy have had profound effects on the lives of everyday Dutch citizens. The increase in prices, the rise in bureaucracy, and the promise of a self-regulating free market that didn't deliver have all contributed to a sense of disillusionment and financial strain. As we navigate our way through this new economic landscape, it's important to remember the everyday stories of people like Tom and Suzanne, who are living the reality of these changes.
Have you ever wondered what happens when two people, friends, share a meal together? It's an exchange, a dance of stories, laughter, and sometimes revelations. Imagine this. Two friends, Tom and Suzanne, are sitting in a cafe sharing a meal. Tom, a cigarette in hand, watches Suzanne, his friend of many years. He notices something different about her, a spark that he can't put his finger on. Suzanne, on the other hand, is a woman of sophistication and wit, comfortable in her own skin and unafraid of Tom's vices. She's always known about his smoking habit and has never judged him for it. After all, nobody's perfect, right? As their meal goes on, Suzanne decides to share something with Tom. She's been dating online, something that Tom has known about, but this time she has news. She's met someone, a young man named Stephen, 26 years old, from Tilburg. Tom listens as Suzanne describes Stephen. He's a PR manager with an impressive career at a big law firm. He's attractive, or as Suzanne puts it, a lekker ding. Tom smiles. He believes Suzanne deserves someone just as wonderful as she is, someone who can match her in every way. Suzanne then shares her plans for her date with Stephen. They're going to meet in the city center, have dinner, watch a show performed by her favorite comedian, Hans Theeuwen, and maybe spend some time at the casino restaurant. It's something Suzanne is looking forward to, a break from the routine, a chance to let her hair down. Suzanne and Tom have been friends for a long time. They've faced many things together, shared many stories. They've seen each other through the tragic death of Suzanne's brother in Bosnia, her anger towards the monarchy, and even a recent encounter where she was attempted to be recruited by a group of patriotic Republicans. This dinner, this conversation is just another page in their story, another shared memory. As they finish their meal, Tom sends a satisfied smile towards Suzanne, acknowledging her happiness and her new adventure. In the end, this is what friendship is about. It's about sharing, listening, and supporting each other. It's about acknowledging each other's flaws and still choosing to stand by each other's side. It's about understanding that life is a journey, and sometimes all we need is a good friend to share that journey with. In a story of friendship and resilience, we meet Tom, a laid-back character with a passion for music. He strikes up an unlikely relationship with Frank Verhofstadt, a man who, at the time, was grappling with a myriad of personal issues. Frank, it seems, was in the throes of a significant depression. But it was through Tom's friendship, his unwavering support, that Frank found a lifeline. Tom saw in Frank a soul worth saving, a friend worth standing by. Months of conversations and shared experiences later, Tom could see the old Frank resurfacing. He was aware that this transformation was largely due to his own interventions. Every soul, he mused, had a guardian angel. For Frank, Tom had been that angel. Their conversations, though, weren't always deep. They bantered about the latest news, television shows, and music. Tom mentioned his upcoming gig with his band, a performance set to take place in the Manege in Schindel. Both of them had a shared love for raw, powerful blues music. She, Frank's friend, thought it would be a great idea for their next meeting to be at the concert. They parted ways around 10:30, promising to stay in touch. Neither of them noticed the black Audi Quattro parked a few meters away, or the man engaged in an intense phone call inside it. Tom, not ready for bed, settled comfortably in his TV chair, thinking about the pleasant evening he'd had. He tuned into a talk show where a young pedophile was discussing his experiences. Tom was glad that such a taboo topic was being openly discussed. He believed that pedophilia was akin to homosexuality. Not that he condoned it, but he understood that there were people struggling with such feelings, feeling lost and spiraling further into their own world. The young man's candid conversation about his struggles, since realizing his pedophilic tendencies at 16, was insightful. Tom knew that many people watched the show, but he also believed that many more should be tuning in. The show was informative, shedding light on a topic often shrouded in darkness. It was a fitting piece for public broadcasters, he thought. So the story of Tom and Frank unfolds, a tale of friendship, resilience, and the power of music. It reminds us of the strength of human connection and the importance of open conversations, even about the most taboo of subjects. Remember, every soul has a guardian angel, and sometimes that angel comes in the form of a supportive friend. And as we navigate through life, let's not forget to appreciate the simple pleasures like raw, powerful blues music.